Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary Week 18. I hope you're all ready for some game day action. I'm going to walk you through the Fantasy Game Day slate for Week 18. It is wild out there. Rather than walk you through the usual slides, because this week has been a bit all over the place with projections and trying to identify value, I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through my entire workbook. So this is what I normally give to all of our members. If you want to sign up as a member, you can hit the join button below. But basically, I break down every position, all the key positions for Fantasy Game Day, looking at their projected score, their price, their points per pound. And it helps me to identify where the key values are and who I think are good players that we should be targeting this week. So we'll start at the top. The captain slot. It feels like a wide receiver week this week. CeeDee Lamb is, the highest projected player on the slate. I think it's as much this week about picking players that you think are going to play a full game as much picking the guys that are potentially going to score the most points. So, yeah, obviously the Cowboys have got that number 2 seed to go after. A decent matchup in terms of, everybody's targeting Washington. So, yeah, really nice value there. He's a fantastic stack option with Dak. You can really go heavy at this. You can look at someone like Jake Ferguson as well if you want to double stack that Cowboys offense. But my favorite captain pick this week is Justin Jefferson. He's ridiculously undervalued at the moment, £6,000, as you can see at the top left of that screen there. There's no world in which Justin Jefferson should be £2,000 cheaper than CeeDee Lamb. It feels mad. I've got him there 3.3. Whenever I'm doing these videos, I always talk about 3 times the value is kind of what we want as a banco. If you can get more than that, great. But if you can get 3 times in each position, you're probably going to cash. So, yeah, either CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson are the 2 guys I'm looking at there. If you want to go running back, if you want that kind of more bankable volume, Breece Hall's a good option. Yes, the Pats are a good defense, but I think that Breece Hall's just going to see enough volume in that passing game that he can potentially still put up some decent numbers. Over at the quarterback position, you can see in the top right there, like I said it at the top, Dak Prescott, he's probably the guy that I'm targeting most in my lineups. I love the stack with him, with CeeDee Lamb. But if you want to get a little bit different, you got Sam Darnold. I don't love it just because I don't think that there's going to be many of those 49ers offensive weapons that are going to be playing as well. So I think that I'd probably try to get away from that. But the other option I quite like at the moment, Nick Mullins. Yes, he's not a great NFL quarterback. Yes, he's going to throw some picks, but I think he's the one guy that's going to take some chances and push the ball down the field. And, if you can stack him with Justin Jefferson, I think that's an interesting place to start. Down at the bottom left at the running back position. Now, this is where there is some obscene value this week, okay? Zamir White, I felt like I've said this the last 2 weeks. He's still criminally undervalued, £2,400. If he gets 10 points, that is more than 4 times the return on investment. That is absolutely wild. As you can see there, I've got him projected for over 16 points. That would be a 6 times, almost 7 times return on investment, which, if he's doing that and you've not got him in your lineup, you're screwed, quite frankly. He's the key enabler. I think that, to me, if you can save some value at running back and really load up there, it makes life so much easier. You can see some other good enablers there. Jordan Mason, Jamal Williams, I'm a little bit less confident on. Ronnie Rivers, Pierre Strong, I've not got them projected high, but I think they're probably going to be slightly lower owned. And again, they've got the potential that they could pay off. The one big priced back that I really like is Kenneth Walker. I think that you can really load up on that Seattle game. They've got stuff to play for. They need to go out and score. And I think that, Kenneth Walker, if you want to go and get Geno, maybe add some of those wide receivers in as well, you can attack that matchup because we know that the Seahawks are going to play and they've got to go. If you're watching live and you want me to, get your comments in, I can talk through anything. If you want to, perhaps let me know your favorite picks this week and we can go from there. The wide receiver position. Now, I'll be honest, it's a disgusting wide receiver position this week. I don't like many picks. I think that's probably why I'm enjoying going expensive at wide receiver. You know, I'm building a lineup at the moment, and it's got Lamb, Jefferson, and St. Brown in because you've got such good value at the running back position. It allows you to go really expensive at wide receiver and basically spend all your money there, quite frankly. So a couple of cheaper ones, Josh Reynolds, Darius Slayton, Michael Wilson. You know, they're so cheap. 7.5 points, 8 points. You're getting that 3.5 times return. It's not going to win you the week, but hopefully if you can get one of those in your lineup, maybe two, that enables you to then spend elsewhere. As I was saying, I think for me, it's a case of save at running back, get those enablers at running back, and then spend up at wide receiver this week. Drake London, Jacoby Myers are two interesting names. I think that the Raiders might not have much to play for, but I think Antonio Pierce does. So I think that offense is going to, continue to fire. Aiden O'Connell's playing for a job still going into the offseason. So I think that offense could still put up some points and still be competitive down the stretch here. And then Drake London, echo everything I said there. The quarterback's playing for a job. If it is Taylor Heinicke under center, he's playing for, to stay relevant. Arthur Smith, we've seen reports today that Arthur Blank's not 100% sure whether he's bringing Arthur Smith back or not. So Drake London could potentially have some points if that offense is going to get firing in. Over at the tight end position, there's, Gerald Everett, super cheap, week in, week out. It just feels like he's a really good option. Returns 10 points, and that's over 3.5 times your investment there. So he's a solid option. I like the Juwan Johnson pick. I talked about earlier about Jake Ferguson, whether you can double stack him with Dak Prescott. But Evan Ingram, we saw him go over 100 receptions last week. He's had one of the quietest superstar seasons I think we've ever seen. Reasonably priced at 4,400. And look, the Jaguars have got to win to get in. Christian Kirk's back. Could that potentially open up more space for Evan Ingram? Hopefully Trevor Lawrence is going to play. Interesting on the Christian Kirk thing, if you're going looking for him, he's not on the game day slate. Game day lock their selections when they release the picks on Tuesday. And obviously at that point, Christian Kirk was on IR and it didn't look like he was going to play. So no Christian Kirk that you can try and sneak into your lineups. But yeah, I think there's a lot of ways you can go this week. For me, I'm really liking that CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver core, going cheap value at running back, and then you've still got enough in the bank that you can spend up and get, Dak or Jake Ferguson and guys like that and spend elsewhere. But let me know in the comments below, who you're building around, who you've got in those lineups, because I'm very intrigued to see. I think this is the kind of week that you can make a lot of money if you guess right. You could also look very silly if you guess wrong, because you could feel like somebody's going to play all week and then it comes to Sunday and they're sitting after the first quarter. I think one of the games that I'm probably avoiding, I think Philadelphia, I know they've potentially got some stuff to play for, but I think Devonta Smith's out. I know Darius Slay's out as well. I wonder if they're just going to rest some players, go into the playoffs healthy, because those number one seeds are locked up. And yeah, it'd be nice to have a better seeding, a home playoff game, but realistically, it's better to be healthy going into the playoffs than it is battling for that little smaller seed that doesn't really make much difference. Well, let me know, as I said, who you're picking, who you're avoiding this week. I love talking some game day. If you haven't tried it out, use the code TFS23. You get a second free entry when you deposit and enter that first lineup. Best of luck this week, and I hope you can bring home some big money in the fantasy game day.